Welcome to Chamber Chats, a weekly series by the West Monroe West Ouachita Chamber of Commerce highlighting our valued members. As always, find out more about the Chamber and our members online at westmonroechamber.org. Special thanks to our Season 2 title sponsor, Ouachita Valley Federal Credit Union. And now, this week's episode of Chamber Chats.
Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Chamber Chats, filmed live here at Louisiana Delta Community College. Today we are excited to have our friend, Chef Becky with Cake. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I am so excited to be here.
Let's talk about your vision and your story. Can we rewind and talk about your journey to getting your own shop? Maybe many people don't know, you're very accomplished in your field. So talk about your schooling, talk about your education, that pathway.
Well, it has been a wild ride, to say the least.
Yeah.
It has been absolutely amazing. So I'm originally from West Monroe.
Yeah.
Went to West Monroe High School, graduated from there. And
Woohoo, local girl.
I know, so exciting. So proud to be back home, by the way. So graduated from West Monroe, went from there to Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Hotty toddy.
Mm-hmm.
And graduated from Ole Miss in hospitality management with my bachelor's in hospitality management. And then shot off to Chicago, where I went to the French pastry school in Chicago. And it was magnificent. Oh my gosh, such an experience. Living in Chicago, number one.
That's right.
The food in Chicago.
That is a culinary center for the United States,
my
for sure.
word. But also being able to experience learning from master chefs who are just incredible. And it was just such a wonderful experience. Graduated from there, and from there went on to Greenwood, Mississippi, where I worked for Viking Range at their headquarters, and was a chef instructor at the Viking Cooking School for a good long while. And it was amazing. It was so much fun. I loved teaching cooking classes. It was such a blast. And I know a lot of people locally have been out to see us, or them now, in Greenwood, and have enjoyed taking cooking classes there. So did that, and for about 13 years, and then decided, okay, it's time. Of course, in and amongst working for Viking full-time, did freelance baking and birthday cake making and wedding cake making, and just started from the teeny tiny bits of scratch. And it was exciting, and it was lots and lots of work, lots of long hours, as I'm sure a lot of people know, and but loved every minute of it. Learned a lot working for Viking and working with the chefs at Viking, and then decided it was time to come home and start the bakery, which was my ultimate goal. I went to college before I went to pastry school, and brought it home, grabbed my sister, and said, hey, I'm coming home. You said.
And y'all grew from your house to a storefront.
Yes, so we started in the house, and then worked for about 3 years in the house just to build our clientele, to get our customer base going, to tell people, who we are, what we're about, get to gain people's trust, show them what we can do. And then finally got into the storefront a little over 2 years ago, and it has been absolutely incredible. The level of support that we have gotten from the community has been incredible. It has been so much fun and such a wild ride. It has been absolutely incredible.
So you got into the business because you're passionate about it, but also I think that you are passionate about consistency and making sure people have the same experience over and over and over, right?
Yes, that is one of my...
But that's really humbling, because you can never have a bad day. You can never be off. Like, consistency in food product is hard. So how do you anticipate what customers are wanting? I mean, I can't imagine trying to figure out how many cookies to make.
It is hard, and I know it sounds a little ridiculous sometimes.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, you just make cookies.
Yeah.
And we don't just make cookies, but when you think about it, it's a lot more involved than you would consider. And we just have to stay on our game all the time, and I have such a wonderful team. We at Cake just do our best to maintain, but it is the most important thing that we hold very dear to our hearts, is to make sure that people come in, they receive the same level of service and get the same product quality every time they come in. They know what to expect when they come in there. It's going to look beautiful, and it's going to taste perfect every single time,
Right.
no matter what they come in to get.
Right.
And that is something that is so very important to me. So it has been. It is challenging every day to go and make sure that we have all the ingredients we need, but also to make sure that when we source the ingredients, they are top quality and we can get them consistently.
Yeah.
That is hard
Yeah.
in itself.
I would think even like now through COVID and then post-COVID, even things like vanilla, getting it regularly when you need it.
Yes.
At the consistency that you want it.
Yes.
You know, all those things add up and are quite expensive.
They are, and vanilla being one of the most expensive ingredients that I use and that I do not skimp on, and I am a giant diva about it. We're not playing about it. I'm not talking about it.
Yeah.
I use the highest quality vanilla that I can get my hands on all the time, every
Right.
time.
Right.
There's nothing else
There's
that will
no
be used
customer.
in my house. Nothing.
So, transition for a second. Y'all do wedding cakes. You do a lot of special occasion, special event things. You know, what is that experience like to be there for someone's pivotal moment in their life, their wedding, and hopefully bring their dream of their cake, their reception, a little bit to life? How does that feel?
It's so heartwarming every single time. And you would think it would get mundane or old or, you know, it would just be another day. But when Emmy, our bakery manager, my sister, does a magnificent job coordinating with our brides and sitting down with them and making sure they understand and they taste everything and they get everything exactly how they want it. And every time she sits down with them, it's just incredible, just the joy that you see on both their faces, both our faces and our customers' faces, because it's so exciting. It's such an exciting time for them.
Sure.
We're so proud for them. We're grateful to be included in their journey of starting their new lives or celebrating what you know they've been through or having a baby or whatever whatever they're going through. We're just so happy to be included and to be able to be a part of the celebration. But it never does. It never gets old. It really, really doesn't. To see their faces when they see us on the wedding day, when we deliver, and the bride's rushing by to go take her pictures, and she looks over and does a double take because she sees, oh, cake's here, and then she sees it, and it just, I have chill bumps right now because it never gets old. It never does.
So you mentioned your sister.
Yes.
And one of the things that I think is very unique about your shop is when you walk in the door, Em knows not just your name, but what you like. She creates an entire cultural experience for you, interacting and choosing that sweet treat for yourself. What is it like working with your sister?
It is outrageously incredible because you would think, and I would be the first one long ago to say, never work with your family. It's just not a good
I was going to say, like, it's either really, really good or really bad.
I would never have considered, ever.
Yeah.
But it just worked out that it just came to be. And it was predestined for us just to be together and to have this together. And she is my right hand and I am her left. Where she ends, I begin. Where I fail in certain aspects, she just exceeds tremendously. I am absolutely horrific, and I will admit this. I am absolutely horrific at remembering people's names.
Yeah, me too.
I am awful. Like it has come to the point where I really feel like I'm going to start telling people that there was some sort of
traumatic event,
some sort of happening that kept me from developing that part of my brain. But she is just incredible. She is able to connect in such an amazing way with every single person that comes through that door, no matter what's going on. You know, and then in the service industry, you have to be able to flip that switch and know as soon as somebody comes in, you may be dealing with the worst situation that you've been dealing with, you know, in a long time. But as soon as someone comes in, you have to flip that switch.
Right.
And she's just amazing at it. She does such a beautiful job, and I'm so honored and proud and glad to be able to have her by my side. It is incredible.
What that relationship and y'all's motivation for customer experience is probably why you've been recognized by us and others with awards. Tell me what's next in your mind. I mean, you seem to be successful at this milestone. What's the vision for the future for Cake and Chef Becky?
Well, so we recently brought on this past year my sous chef, Spencer. And that was the next step for us.
Shout out to Spencer.
Shout out to Spencer. Spencer Morris, yes. And he is our cousin, oddly enough. Okay, somehow keeping it in the family. Not sure how that happened. But he is pivotal in helping ramp up production.
Yeah.
And so we can keep up with demand. Because in starting the business, we had assumed in-house, when we were working in-house, still building up our clientele and everything, we had started with custom orders only, obviously.
Right.
Just custom, birthday cakes, wedding cakes,
Right.
cookies, so many cookies.
Yeah.
Hand-decorated sugar cookies, hours of cookies.
Yeah.
Which I love making, but I don't have time anymore. But we had assumed that opening the store, going into a retail space, it would give us the space that I needed to ramp up volume in custom orders and have some things for walk-ins for retail sales.
And then the script got flipped.
It got flipped directly on its head. And we had to cut back on custom availability so we could keep up with demand in the front. It is wild and crazy, and I'm so glad because it's so much fun.
Yeah.
And we're so proud to be able to offer a delicious, consistent product for people of this community. Things that they normally would not have access to every single day.
Yeah.
And it has been so much fun to see that flip and and it's been a challenge to adjust to that.
Yeah.
And scaling back in our custom orders, because I do love to make our custom stuff.
Sure.
But we just don't
You have to be cognizant and intentional about the time.
We do.
So then what's next? What's the vision?
So what we're hoping for is obviously to continue on with our our highest level of products that we make, and bringing out a couple of new things every once in a while, making sure everybody gets what they love, and but also we are looking into in the next couple of weeks starting our partnering with delivery services like Grubhub, and
Instacart, all the things like that.
There's a couple that we're gonna work with. I think specifically with Grubhub, because I think ULM, the students are able to use their cards for Grubhub, I think, maybe.
So delivering that perfect cookie on a bad day.
On a bad day to the students over there might be a good idea.
Yeah.
We've thrown around some ideas about maybe staying open late for finals.
Sure.
For local students, things like that. Any other suggestions that anybody may have, y'all holler at us. Our email is info@musthavecake.com if you guys have any suggestions, because we're always open for new possibilities, but also not sure how soon this may be able to happen, but eventually getting to the point where I can start teaching a couple of classes, not necessarily just baking classes, but who knows where we'll go from that, but I'm excited.
The sky's
about that
the limit.
prospect. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about that prospect.
So, Chef Becky, what brings you joy?
Those faces, seeing those faces, and that's again why I have an open kitchen at Cake. It was very important to me in
to see you and
designing our building, or renovating that building, is to make sure that our kitchen is transparent. You can see almost every aspect of our kitchen. The only part you can't see is the dish pit. Nobody wants to see the dirty dish pit. But that was very important to me, so that anything that's coming across our counter was made by the hands that are in that building. And we do not resell anything. Everything is made there. And with our recipes, it is made locally by these hands, by the people that live here and love here. And but also so we could eventually move forward into teaching classes there and doing things like that. But also, one of the things that just drives me is when people come in and they're excited. When I see people, because we have the windows that we can see the parking lot, and when people pull up and they wheel in, and
they're on a mission.
And oftentimes you'll see that passenger door fling open, and somebody will run out, and sometimes it's a child, and it's so funny to watch them run to the door, just leaving everybody behind. And we're not waiting for anybody. Fling open the bakery door and come in just so they can have a few more minutes to look before everybody gets out of the car. it's so awesome. And being able to see people after they get everything that they've gotten and they're super excited about it, and they take it to their car, and we can see through the windows. I promise we're not staring at you. We're just really enjoying that you're enjoying it.
No, y'all have the perfect show.
We do. And so they hop in their car and then immediately tear into their boxes and start chomping in their cars. It is so much fun to be able to see them immediately start to enjoy everything that they've just gotten.
I love it.
It's really, really fun.
That's fantastic. Well, how do people find out more about cake? Where are you located? What are your general hours?
So you can check out any of our social media.
Okay.
Our tag is Must Have Cake LA.
Okay.
And that is on Facebook and Instagram. And then also our website, musthavecake.com. Then we've got, you can call us. You can certainly call us. Just Google us. If you Google Cake West Monroe, we're the first thing that pops up.
Yep.
We would be happy to help. You can send us an email, info@musthavecake.com.
And y'all are located on Trenton Street, just at the end before you go under the viaduct.
Yes.
And what are your hours usually?
We are Tuesday through Saturday. So Tuesday through Friday, we are 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and Saturday we are 9 to 2. We do close earlier on Saturdays, and I know it's disappointing for some people, but we do have to close early on Saturdays so we can deliver wedding cakes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Be there for that moment.
Yes.
Well, thank you for coming and visiting with us today, and thank you for joining us on this episode of Chamber Chats, filmed live here at Louisiana Delta Community College. Join us next time as we explore more members and celebrate our members and various aspects of the Chamber. See you next time.